So the butter cookie dough, the flat disc ones have firmed up. I have both the egg and the eggless dough with me, so we could just see how different the textures are as we are doing. Okay, so this is the egg one, and this is the eggless one. The eggless one is a little firmer, and this is a little soft, but then you can see it is quite firm, right? So now I have a silicone mat here. I'm just going to start rolling the egg dough. Okay, on the silicone mat I'm just going to sprinkle some all-purpose flour. We just need some extra all-purpose flour here, so there's no measurement for that. We just want to have the counter to not let the cookie dough stick. So I'm just going to remove off the cling wrap and put the dough. On top of this, I'm just going to sprinkle some more flour. Now if I find the dough is like really very hard, just want to loosen that up, you can just have a rough ball made, making sure the softness, the texture is even throughout. Now if I see some hard chunks anywhere, if I see hard chunks, I'm just going to combine them together with the flour, and then again you don't want it to stick on the pad, the silicone mat. Okay. So I'm just going to flatten it because I'm just going to anyway roll it to about 2 mm thickness. Okay, this I'm just going to roll. I have a rolling pin. And these I'm just going to use circle cutters. Here you can use any pattern of cutter that you'd like to bake your cookies. You don't want to roll it very thin, so you can just see the thickness. Okay, but then the edges are a little more thicker than what is there inside, like in this place. Okay, so I just want to check if this thickness is fine. So then I'm just going to pick up the circle cutter. So I have this set of circle cutter here. Then I'm just going to see which size will be better. Now this is not going to increase in size. So depending on how many total cookies I'd like to have, and you know what is going to be the weight of each cookie. So depending on that I can just choose between like these two are like really small. So I can choose between these two sizes. So I'll just go with the 4th one. Okay, so now the best thing to do is to start cutting out. As you put the cutter in, just make sure you're just going very close to you know, the cutout from one next to the other, and put the cutter in and then just give a shake, so it just comes out neatly. So I'm trying to avoid as much wastage as possible. I'm just going to allow that to be. And so now I have the cutouts, and now I'm going to line the baking tray with parchment paper. Okay, and then I'm just going to gently transfer the discs. I'm going to remove the extras out. So the extras are not wasted. We'll be rolling them out. To cut the discs, make sure as you are lifting, you're not changing the shape. So like very gently pick them up. In case you've just damaged the edges, make sure you're fixing it, because you want all of them to look uniform. Now if the silk pad or your counter is floored well, then picking up and placing it in the baking tray with parchment paper is going to be easy. Okay, so now this is ready to get baked. So with the leftovers, if they have gotten like really soft, to do one more rolling, we just have to cling wrap this dough, freeze it again for say 15 minutes or so, and once that is firm, we repeat the same step to roll out to the same discs, or maybe you could use different shape, but you could transfer that again in the next batch to bake. So right now I'm just going to have the shape checked, because I just want all of them to look the same and be perfect. So now I'm going to start working on the butter cookies, the eggless dough. I have a few different shapes of the cutters that I'm going to use on this dough to show. So it is quite firm, you can see. Now I'm going to flour the silicone mat, and then I'm just going to also flour the top. Now I just want to check if because it's been freezing, the inside will be quite firm. I just want to check if the entire dough is of the same consistency, because the edges are going to be soft here. So I'm just going to roll and then make it into a dough, out of which the whole ball of the dough is all the same consistency. You don't want to have like firmer part in one place and then like really very soft on one side. So roll it out into a smooth dough. Okay, and I'm just going to flour the silk pad again. You can use your counter to work also, not a problem. I'm just going to flatten the dough and flour the top. Now I'm going to use a rolling pin and then start rolling, making sure the thickness is even from the edge to the inside. I'm going to roll it to about 2 mm thickness. Okay, so now like how I did for the previous dough, I'm going to start with circle cutter, and if there is a different shape, then obviously you can't be twisting it out like that. So in those cases you just cut out and then give it a shake just from left to right. Okay, now if these are going to come along with the cutter, you don't have to wait until you cut the entire sheet. What you can do in the meantime, prepare the baking tray, line it with the parchment paper, okay, and if the cookies are getting stuck, it is also a easy way to transfer the cookies. Okay, so I just want to show it clearly. Shake it so the extras get cut, and while you're lifting, if the cookie dough in the same shape comes along with the cutter, then easily transfer it to the baking tray. Now that is a gingerbread man cookie cutter. I'm just going to use that, showing you how different shapes are going to be. So the shaking part is essential, and then if it sticks on the cookie cutter, then you could transfer them, use your finger and then just gently push it down. Okay, so it gets transferred. So the next time, if it sticks, well and good, else you can just move it from the counter or your sill pad, in whichever you are just using it. Okay, and then we also have a star cutter. Again, this shaking part is needed. I'm just going to cut the rest in circle shape. Okay, so the excess dough, whatever is there, I'm just going to roll it back into a dough, but by this time it would have gotten a little softer. Okay, so now this I will cling wrap again and then freeze it for about 15 minutes and then get back and do the same steps again, and we could bake the next batch after this one is done. So if your oven is small, to just take one tray, so this batch can go into the oven while that is being baked. You can have this dough cling wrapped and getting frozen, so we can have the next batch baked after this one is done. So now this again will go into the oven to get baked at about 180 degrees Celsius, which is also being preheated at 180 degrees Celsius, and the time for preheating will be to about 10 to 15 minutes, and this needs to get baked for about 10 to 11 minutes or until the edges of each of the cookie turns golden brown. Don't wait until the top turns golden or change in color, and if it changes, fine, but do not have to wait when you see the outside turns golden brown. So once it comes out of the oven, I'm just going to take and show both the egg and the eggless version and have the difference seen right there next to each other. So the cut out butter cookies have been beautifully baked. You can see the egg butter cookies are baked, and then the bottom is like very mild golden brown. You can see the edges are golden brown as well, and the top just is the same, or just a little bit of color change is there, but then the thinner discs, the color change is there all around as well. but then these ones and these ones are kind of like really perfect. Okay, and this is the eggless version, and now you can see the shape has not changed. There is no distortion of the shape, and it's not just bulged out or increased in size. You can see the bottom is nice golden brown, and then the edges are also golden brown, but the top just has the color retained. Okay, so now these are good to go, and we are ready to eat them or serve them and pack them as well. But then these ones I'm just going to sandwich together to make alfajores, which is the dulce de leche will be put in between, like you're going to make some cream biscuits, but then we are going to have that yummy caramel filled into this, and then we have the second version. So this is the plain version of the butter cookies, and this is going to be the alfajores, which will be the DDL filled, and then we already have two more versions getting baked, and that will be there as the other two variations in the butter cookies. So I have the butter cookies, the discs ready here, and I also have the beautiful dulce de leche ready. So we are just going to make the alfajores, which is nothing but having two of the butter cookies and have this condensed milk, the caramelized condensed milk in between. Okay, so to get that going, I have the piping bag, and then I also have a nozzle, a round nozzle, in which I'm just going to fit the piping bag with it. So I'm going to get this nozzle, I'm going to fit it inside the piping bag. So I'm just going to get it in and then cut the tip of the nozzle and get the nozzle out. Okay, now I have a very tall glass, and this is very helpful to fill any frosting for that matter. Now I'm just going to get the dulce de leche, scrape down, so filling becomes easier and it is mess free as well. Okay, so I'm just going to lift the piping bag. Just squeezing out, just getting the filling tightly packed and getting it till the tip. So it is just about to come, and I'm just going to twist it so it doesn't flow back outside. Okay, so now this is ready. I'm just going to have one row of the cookies. So I'm just going to fill it in this whole row and then have the pair go up on the top. Okay, so let me just start. Give some room, so when you're going to press with that pair, it will just smudge a little bit. So now I'm just going to get this pan, press it out. I could as well pick them in my hand and then just check how it looks. Just twist it on both sides so it seals well. Okay, so we have the beautiful sandwiched butter cookies ready, and I could fill these. We have one complete set of alfajores ready. Okay, so we have two more variations that has been baking, and let's just get them out of the oven to show how the last two variations of the butter cookies are going to look like.